beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to High on Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. The ambassador of joy. And you know that we talk about in this show some of the most interesting, exuberant, expressive people you'll ever meet. And today is really special. I'm just so happy to have Oscar with us. So before we bring him on, I just want to make mention to people something special. I am privileged to speak to people all over the world, millions of people every month through my shows on the internet and in person. I do events with 1,000+ people every week or every at least certain number of times a month. And whenever I mention two words, people lean in, open up their eyes and their ears, say, tell me more. And these two words are Las Vegas, because it's not just about gambling and sex. It's about exuberance, about energy, about goodness, really goodness in Las Vegas. Let me tell you something amazing. Take the entire population of New York City and everybody around it, the entire population of Chicago and everybody around, the entire population of San Francisco and everybody around it, add them all together, it doesn't come to the number of people that come to and through and for Las Vegas in any year. 41+ million people come here. Why? Because it's a place of energy. And you're going to meet one of the most energetic, interesting people you've ever had the pleasure of being with. And his name is Oscar Melet. Wonderful Oscar, please say hello to 511,613 people around the world.
Hi, thanks for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure to have you. So those of you who are listening only, you're going to hear a deep, resonant voice. If you're also privileged to be watching this, you're going to look and say, wow, he looks younger than you, Barry. Well, he is by about 60 years. Oscar represents the future of the world, certainly the future of America. And I can tell you, I am deeply, deeply honored that he's here today, because we're going to be discussing something that is so wonderful about the youth of America. People often despair about kids today. First of all, that's been said for decades and decades and decades. Kids today are no much different than any other kid any other time. Okay, fine, they may be a little more savvy when it comes to technology. However, the real key of life is what's in your heart and your mind and what you see as the future. So I am honored to have Oscar here because he knows three things. Number one, he's the son of a good friend of mine who I dearly love and have known from the technology world for more than 3 decades. That's number one. Number two, he's a great sailor. And that's a special skill in a 17-year-old, to be able to know how to do something that has been around almost from the beginning of humanity. We'll talk about it a little bit, Oscar, when it comes to sailing, because it's such an amazing process. And number three is Oscar just went through something called USNSCC. So he's going to decode that for us in just a moment. By the way, don't take any notes. Everything is in the show notes. Just lean in and experience Oscar, who's almost 17 and is going to show us where the future is. So Oscar, first of all, I just want to say again, thank you for being here. Tell everybody what USNSCC stands for and why we should be listening to what you have to say.
So basically, USNCC stands for United States Navy Sea Cadet Corps, and it's the leading youth military or Navy group in the United States, sponsored by the United States Navy and other sponsors. Like my unit is sponsored by the Royal Canadian Legion, and basically it gives you access to lots of advanced trainings to interact with military personnel and see what a day or a week in the life or even more is in different fields of the Navy, so you know what you're getting into before you enlist or go down a different job path.
So I want to mention two things that Oscar said. Number one, the word enlist. You hear that? And number two, Navy. Anchors away, baby. Let's talk about enlist for a moment. By the way, Oscar, you might want to know that this is in the show notes, everybody, so don't write it down. Enlist is a wonderful word, E-N-L-I-S-T, right? If you take the same letters, it spells the word listen. Because one of the things about enlisting in any kind of military situation is you have to learn how to listen. And listening is one of the most important aspects of leadership. One cannot be a good leader unless one is a good listener. Am I right on that, Oscar?
Yes, that's true. Listening is very important.
Okay. The other thing about the word enlist and listen is the same word, letters spell the word silent. It is very important to learn how to not speak as well as what to say. So being silent, being able to listen are two of the most powerful aspects of living well in life, whatever you choose to do. Certainly in the military, where you, Oscar, will be not just an enlisted person, but are destined for leadership. And USNSCC is part of that. So let's talk about this unique week that you experienced with people from Navy SEALs, which are some of the most elite human beings on the planet. That's fair to say, right? Some of
Yes.
the most dedicated, the most caring, the most capable people on the planet. They can construct and destruct things. And we're going to talk a little bit about demolition as well as construction. Give us, if you'd be so kind, the beginnings of the process of what this week was when you were involved with USNSCC. What was it like? Where did it start? Where did you go? And what was involved?
So basically, this program that I did was called NSWOC, and it is a introduction to naval special warfare. And there are different paths you can go down with naval special warfare, like EOD, which is explosive ordnance disposal, SEALs, which we all know they start in the water and go to land, and conduct crazy military operations like boarding ships and anti-terrorism. And there's Navy divers and a lot of other stuff. So I there's two parts to the training I did. It's called prep before and then selection, which I just completed. So these two trainings are a little over a week long, and they are separated with a year in between, and they happen in the summer in Little Creek, Virginia, Navy base. And there are a lot of physical trainings and tests that I have to complete before I can even attend one of these programs. And every morning before school, I would wake up at 6:30, and I would swim for around 2 hours, and get ready. I know you're a big swimmer. I've seen in your bio and stuff. Um, so yeah, I'd mainly do breaststroke and combat side stroke because those are the ones you're tested on. And yeah, staying in shape was a very big part of it. But bigger than that, the mental state you have to be in for NSWOC is what you're really tested on, especially on Hell Night. During I'll just call it a week. During the week I'm there, we did multiple evolutions. You learn a lot about attention to detail. It's drilled into your brain to have attention to detail and work as a team. Things will go way easier if you work as a team. And yeah, so
Okay,
those are the main aspects.
just gonna pause for a moment. So I'm gonna make a comment, then I'm gonna ask you a question or two questions. My comment is swimming for 2 hours. Now we're not talking about leisure swimming on your back and on your front. We're talking about dedicating 2 hours of hard, ongoing, demanding swimming. Am I correct?
Yes, correct.
And is it in a pool or is it in the ocean?
Yeah, I had it in the pool. Yes.
Okay, so 2 hours. Let's be blunt. Not 15 minutes, not an hour, not even an hour and a half, 2 hours. That can be challenging. So my next two questions are, was this week that you were in Virginia Was it challenging both physically and mentally? And number two, did it challenge you enough at any point where you were exhausted and say, I'm out?
Great question, especially about quitting. So there is a bell that is taken with you everywhere. And you have to, we started with around a little over 30 kids, and we ended up with, I think, around uh, 12, 12 to 13. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Anyways, it was like a 55% dropout rate. So every day, or yeah, it was mostly every day, we'd have someone drop out or multiple people drop out. And especially on Hell Night, that was the biggest thing. It was completely dark, and you'd see people drop out out of nowhere. And you were like, where did they just go? So they just ring the bell. Personally, I never thought about quitting. I guess that's good for me. But I was very exhausted for sure. One part I recalled was between two evolutions, we were up for um, already. It was next day of Hell Night. It was already the next night, and my boat crew won an evolution, so we were able to take a break and sit down for a bit, for 2 minutes, and while the other teams carry their boats and go into the beach and hit the water and get wet and sandy. I We were all sitting, and I literally fell asleep. And then my friend woke me up. I woke up. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just fell asleep. I like you'd start hallucinating, seeing things, being up for that long.
Yeah, I just want to make
Um,
Oscar is 17 years of age. It's hard to exhaust a 17-year-old.
yeah.
Ability to be sitting down and so exhausted, not just tired, exhausted, that one closes one's eyes and you're out.
Yeah.
That is the point where you realize you're spent. And yet, now I'm going to make a statement, then ask you a question. There was no point, as you said, where you were thinking ringing the bell. Now, the bell is a very famous piece of SEAL history. Anybody who's ever seen either a movie or a clip or anything, for the biggest people, the people that are 210 pounds with muscles that are bigger than my head, they may not be the ones that make it. It may be the ones that are thinner. It's really in your head. That's where it begins, in your heart. Ringing the bell was not an option for you, right, Oscar?
Yeah, especially with my mentality going into this, I was thinking I'm either gonna get medically dropped out or get performance dropped. I'm not gonna ring the bell. Like that's the headspace I was in, because I first of all, how disappointing would that be? You have to fly home, expenses and everything. I'm like, I just swam every day before school just to drop out. That's ridiculous. I'm either gonna get heat stroke or do something else, or yeah, get
Okay,
medically dropped or performance.
I
So
want to tell everybody that's listening, and there are a lot of listeners around the world, I'm honored and humbled to have Oscar here because what you just heard is the essence of America, the future of America. Yes, it exists in many other countries around the world. What happens here in the United States of America is Oscar Melet, and he is the embodiment of what happens when you say, no, I don't do that. I'm either going to get pushed out or something's going to happen. I don't quit. And that's the essence of America. That's the essence of Oscar. We'll be right back after a brief message. We have sponsors that love us. We wouldn't have them. We didn't think they're worth your time. Be right back because there's more of the future of the American people right after this message. Don't go away.
Any business leader who has stood in front of potential investors can tell you, creating a vivid, compelling vision of the future can be the difference between bankruptcy and billions. If you can move people with words, you can practically will things into existence. Something that seems impossible can be made to seem inevitable. but not with bullet points, with a well-crafted and well-told story. I spent 30 years in advertising, creating stories for giant brands, universities, and governments, and changing people's hearts and minds. And over those years, I accumulated a treasure chest of insights about how to entertain and inspire and move people. And I think I can teach you. Can you think of a tool more powerful than human speech? See how your value changes when you start to master the oldest human art form.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. If you're good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. We found good in abundance. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Oscar Melet, and Oscar, in my humble opinion, is the future of America because he understands that everything in life is a challenge and that you mentally and physically prepare for it. And you do not allow quitting to be part of your vocabulary. Again, either in your mind, your heart, or your spirit. Oscar, I just want to tell you again how happy I am that you're here. And you didn't ring the bell. Matter of fact, the bell rang for you because at the end of that week, you, Oscar Melet, were inducted into the Hall of Fame of USNSCC people. I want to talk about what I consider the essence of, we'll go back to Hell Night in just a moment. Well, really about the experience, and I think it has to do with two words: team and leadership. Now, I have a great acronym for team. Team stands for together, everyone achieves miracles. So I want to talk to you and ask you, what was it about not just your individual performance, but your team performance during this week that made a difference for you?
Well, at the beginning of this training, I'd say it was a pretty big class, and we weren't really working as a team. And we were all kind of looking out for ourselves so we wouldn't get dropped or something or get out of the training. So everybody was worried about themselves. But I'd say once we did Hell Night, it eliminated or took all the marshmallows out. So then we all kind of treated ourselves as brothers or like family. And I'd say we started not thinking about ourselves, but thinking of us as one unit and trying to get each other through it all. So yeah, just not thinking about yourself, be selfless, think about others, and just, yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at something. We have a week to be with other people who you don't know. Let's be blunt.
Yeah.
And therefore, almost by definition, I need to take care of myself. I don't want to ring the bell. I want to succeed. I. At what point, when did it happen? What did it happen in day? I don't think so. Day 2, day 3, day 4? Was it only at Hell Night that it unified a group together to be called a team? How long did it take for people to not just verbalize, but by their actions recognize that by me helping Oscar, I'm benefiting everybody?
It took a while, especially from other classes from before us. I don't know if it's just how we were, but yeah, we just took a while to bond, I'd say. But I'd say around 5 to 6 days in, right after Hell Night, I'd say when we secured Hell Night, we really bonded and we really became a team.
So hell brought people together.
True. Yeah.
Let's be blunt. You were not under fire of bullets,
No.
missiles. However, you created together a bonding experience, which is, if we don't get this boat up on the beach in time, we're in deep trouble. In other words, there was a mission that was greater than the individual. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just keeping everybody as a team and helping each other through it, not thinking about yourselves. That's the biggest thing that I've learned through this, and going through life, just not thinking about myself as much and trying to be more selfless, think about other people and their
I'm
needs.
going to give you an insight into words are very important, as we know. We talked about enlist, same letters as listen, same letters as silent. And the word is community. Now,
Mhm.
community can be seen as sort of a loose amalgam of people. It can also be in a tight group of 3 or 4 people in a hell night. I want you to take a look at the word community and notice that it's spelled COMMUNITY. And the word unity is the key, am I right? For community. Note
Mhm.
the U comes before the I in community. When the U comes before the I, now you can create a community, a team. Without it, it's all about the I. And you'll never have a bonding experience. And you'll never be able to board an enemy ship to blow something up because you have to coordinate many different people, whether it's 2 people or 20 people. Everybody has to be looking out for the other. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, especially the last part about looking out for each other, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, and we have an interesting word called hope. You know, we all hope to get through something on Hell Night. Well, hope is not a strategy. You have a strategy, you can get through it. But hope does stand for helping others progress every day. When I
Hmm.
look out for Oscar, guess what happens to Barry? I benefit. And when that becomes part of my being, well, guess what? We can work as a unit. And unit, again, the U comes before the I. And then you can have unity. So I'm going to ask you, tell us 2 things that happened on Hell Night that for you were real hell.
Biggest thing I remembered was it was the second. So just to put some context, Hell Night went for basically 2 nights, um, and over the course of like 3 days, so 2 days ish, like 2 days, and on the second night, we're just like, I can't believe we're actually doing this again. Like we thought that it would be over on the first night, so the not knowing when it's gonna end is pretty mentally challenging. So you don't know, oh, I don't even think I could go anymore. Should I just quit? So I remember it was on the beach. It was probably like 2 a.m. On the second day. Or sorry, 1 a.m. on the second day. And we secured around 1 a.m. So this is towards the very end. And we were on the beach and we're doing exercises. So they're bear crawl to the water, come back. We'd all stand in a line on the beach. And first person who gets it pays to be a winner. That's what they say. So if you bear crawl in the water, come back, and you're the first to finish, you get to sit and watch everybody else get their ass kicked. So uh, everybody else, I was towards the end. I was just really struggling because I got paired with a very tall and heavy person. So he was like 50 pounds more than me, and very tall. So
Wait,
I had
wait,
a
wait a minute. 50, 50?
yeah, 50 pounds more than me. So
You weigh about 130, 140?
150. This guy was like 200 pounds, and we were doing buddy drags. So this means he puts his arms on my neck, and then I have to bear crawl with him, dragging between my legs to the beach and drag him back. And yeah, it was pretty challenging. And yeah, I was getting my ass kicked all the way to the end, and I was able to get out of it. There was like 4 people left, and then I just really pushed myself, and I was able to get secured from that evolution. I remember it was just the last one was like sprint to the water and sprint back, and I was able to finish that one first. I was like, finally.
Make a comment here. You don't know where the energy came from to do sprints back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, we Yeah, just big burst of energy. I'm like, okay, am I gonna keep getting my ass kicked, or should I just man up, get this done? So I was just like, okay, I just need to send it, treat it as my last thing, even though it might not be my last and someone might beat me. Treat it that's gonna be the last part of the evolution. So give me 100%.
Point that of something you said and emphasize it. Part of the difficulty of hell, and it happens in everybody's life, by the way. People go through stuff. Everybody has stuff. One of the difficulties of stuff is that you don't know when it's going to end.
True. Yeah.
It could be a physical challenge, mental challenge, spiritual. People have issues with marriages, with kids. I mean, just everybody has a challenge every single day. And one of the things is you don't know when it's going to end. That was a very important point what you said. You know, if you knew, okay, it's now 1 o'clock in the morning, I only have to go till 5 a.m. Okay, I got 4 more hours. I'm going to do it. If you don't know that, they can kick my butt for the next 2 days. I don't know. They said it's going to end in a day. They may be not telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't know when things end, you need to have resilience as part of your very being. Is that true?
Yes, resilience is a big part of your personality. You have to have, character.
During the break, I created an acronym for your name. Would you like me to share it with you?
Sure.
Okay, Oscar, OSCAR. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ongoing success creates amazing resilience.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Isn't that, well, that's you. You just told me.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're coming to I'm sorry to say these words. We're coming to a close on our time together. I think that one of the greatest parts of the experience was what we call the L word, leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Because in essence, you became a leader without having somebody to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you're a leader. You know that by fulfilling the mission, by definition, you're a leader. You're a leader for yourself. You know how to lead other people now. You know how to listen because you enlisted, and you know how to remain silent. And overall, you're a great tribute to your family, your friends, and our country. And I'm just so happy to have you here. This is wonderful. I have 3 quick questions for you, Oscar Melet. Are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Number 2, Oscar, you have only 80 seconds to answer this question.
All right.
What, at this point in your life, what is your most fervent desire?
Fervent desire. I don't know what fervent means. Sorry.
Fervent means passionate,
Passionate.
all-encompassing. I want that.
Probably becoming a SEAL. Yeah, in the future.
Oh, I look forward to seeing you as a SEAL.
Thank
Number
you.
3, may I give you a hug in front of 517,920 people around the world?
Yes.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Here we come. 1, 2, 3. Roar! And you're listening to Eye on Las Vegas with your home host, Barry Shaw, the ambassador of joy. Amazing Oscar Melet. And I'll tell you something. This show is not about Oscar, great guy that he is. Not about Barry, fabulous fellow. This show is about you, Y-O-U, you becoming the best you, because when you are the best you, you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. And every single one of you is and can be continually a SEAL. So we are giving you a blessing. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Oscar, don't go away.